In a quiet suburban neighborhood, a troubling saga of mail theft unfolded, drawing the ire of residents and igniting a fierce conflict with the HOA president, Linda Marshall. I found myself at odds with Linda as I sought to address the rising issue of stolen packages and letters. Linda, staunchly defending the community's rules, insisted that any deviation from the established guidelines could lead to chaos. However, I believed that the HOA's rigid enforcement was stifling the very spirit of community. As tensions escalated, whispers of a dramatic turn of events began to circulate, hinting at a confrontation that would challenge the balance between order and neighborly compassion. This conflict not only tested the limits of community rules, but also revealed the deeper implications of their abuse, setting the stage for an unexpected resolution. Upon moving to Willow Creek Estates, I was immediately captivated by the neighborhood's picturesque charm, with its tree-lined streets and well-manicured lawns creating an idyllic atmosphere. As a retired postal worker, I had a deep appreciation for community and order, understanding the importance of rules and maintaining harmony. This tranquil setting seemed like the perfect place to enjoy retirement, surrounded by friendly neighbors and a sense of belonging. However, beneath the surface of this serene environment lay the looming presence of Linda Marshall, the HOA president, whose strict adherence to regulations hinted at potential conflicts ahead. My initial impressions were tinged with unease, sensing that the very rules I valued could become a source of tension. Little did I know, this seemingly peaceful community would soon reveal its complexities, setting the stage for a clash that would challenge my newfound home. The first confrontation between Linda Marshall and me was a stark awakening to the realities of life in Willow Creek Estates. With her authoritative demeanor, Linda approached me with a clipboard in hand, her expression a mix of determination and disapproval. She pointed out that the trash cans left out a day too long were in violation of HOA rules. Taken aback by her stern tone, I felt a rush of shock at the rigidity of her enforcement. Despite my instinct to resist, I complied with Linda's demands, quickly moving the cans to the garage. However, this encounter marked the beginning of escalating tension between us. I couldn't shake the feeling that Linda's strict adherence to the rules was more about control than community, foreshadowing a series of confrontations that would challenge my understanding of neighborly relations. Linda's obsession with rules quickly spiraled into a series of citations against me, each one more trivial than the last. From a slightly crooked mailbox to a flower bed that didn't meet her exacting standards, Linda seemed to take pleasure in her selective enforcement of the HOA regulations. Neighbor Mike, sensing my mounting frustration, offered a warning about Linda's behavior towards newcomers, recounting tales of her relentless pursuit of perfection. "She'll find something to cite you for," he cautioned, shaking his head. As the citations piled up, my irritation grew, feeling increasingly targeted by Linda's rigid enforcement. Each infraction felt like a personal attack, igniting a determination to confront the issue head-on. I realized that standing up to Linda was not just about the rules, it was about reclaiming my sense of belonging in the community I had hoped to enjoy. The atmosphere at the HOA meeting was tense, filled with murmurs and sidelong glances as residents gathered to discuss community issues. Fueled by frustration, I stood up to voice my concerns about Linda's unfair enforcement of rules. "We need to ensure that all residents are treated equally," I urged, hoping to rally support from my neighbors. However, Linda's reaction was immediate and furious. Her face flushed with anger as she interrupted, dismissing my complaints as mere grievances from someone unwilling to follow the rules. The room fell silent, the other residents exchanging uneasy looks, unsure of how to react to the escalating confrontation. I realized that this was not just a battle over rules, but a fight for respect and fairness within the community I had hoped to call home. As the days passed, my unease grew when my Social Security check mysteriously vanished from the mailbox. Initially dismissing it as a simple oversight, a nagging suspicion began to take root, particularly towards Linda, whose obsessive enforcement of rules now felt increasingly invasive. The thought that she might be involved in the disappearance was unsettling, prompting me to consider drastic measures. Setting up surveillance seemed like the only way to catch Linda in the act, a decision that felt both necessary and alarming. The tension mounted as I pondered the severity of the situation. This was no longer just about petty HOA disputes. The potential violation of my privacy and trust loomed large, transforming the once peaceful neighborhood into a landscape of suspicion and fear. With each passing day, I felt the weight of my decision, knowing I was stepping into a dangerous game. After much deliberation, I set up a discreet surveillance camera aimed at the mailbox, hoping to capture any suspicious activity. The initial recordings revealed nothing out of the ordinary, but as days turned into weeks, the tension mounted. Then one fateful evening, the footage revealed a shocking scene. Linda, under the cover of darkness, stealthily approached the mailbox and began rifling through the mail. My heart raced as I watched her take not only letters, but also government checks, a clear violation of the law. The evidence was undeniable, and the realization of Linda's criminal activities sent a wave of determination coursing through me. I knew I had to seek justice, not just for myself, but for the entire community that had unknowingly fallen victim to Linda's deceit. This was no longer just a personal battle. It was a fight for the integrity of Willow Creek Estates. With the shocking evidence in hand, I devised a plan to catch Linda in the act once and for all. I prepared a decoy envelope, filled with a government check and marked with a tracking device, placing it in the mailbox. The anticipation was palpable as I waited for Linda to take the bait. When she finally approached, the scene unfolded like a tense drama. Postal inspectors, who had been alerted, swooped in just as Linda reached for the envelope. The moment of her arrest was electric, leaving the community in stunned silence. Neighbors gathered, eyes wide with disbelief as they witnessed the once authoritative figure being handcuffed. The evidence collected against Linda was damning, revealing a pattern of theft that extended far beyond my missing check. The gravity of her crimes shocked the community, transforming their perception of her from a strict enforcer to a criminal in their midst. In the wake of Linda's arrest, the community's response was a mix of shock and relief. Other HOA board members, initially supportive of Linda, were left scrambling to distance themselves from her actions, their expressions a blend of disbelief and embarrassment. Residents, who had long felt the weight of her oppressive rule, began to share stories of their own grievances, united in a newfound sense of camaraderie. The relief was palpable. Neighbors exchanged smiles and words of encouragement, celebrating the end of Linda's reign of fear. This dramatic turn of events underscored the importance of accountability in community leadership, reminding everyone that those in power must be held to the highest standards. As the neighborhood began to heal, discussions emerged about creating a more inclusive and transparent HOA, ensuring that the mistakes of the past would not be repeated and fostering a spirit of cooperation and trust among all residents. The story of mail theft in Willow Creek Estates serves as a powerful reminder of the complexities of community power dynamics. My journey transformed me from a victim of Linda's oppressive rule into a passionate advocate for justice. Through my determination to expose Linda's criminal activities, I highlighted the dangers of unchecked power within community organizations, where one individual's authority can lead to widespread harm. This experience not only galvanized the neighborhood, but also sparked important conversations about accountability and transparency in leadership. As we began to rebuild, it became clear that resilience and unity could triumph over adversity. If you found this story inspiring, I encourage you to subscribe, like, and share this video. Join us for more tales of resilience and empowerment. as we continue to explore the strength found in standing up for what is right within our communities.